The sky is already turning when she reaches the edge of the village. Purple clouds hang low, thick and heavy, as if the evening is bruised. The air smells wet. Rain is coming. She can feel it on her skin, a soft pressure, like the world holding its breath. Cicadas start their song all at once. The sound is sharp and metallic, filling the space between the trees. It follows her as she walks, her shoes sinking slightly into the damp earth. Palm trees line the narrow road, their long leaves moving slowly, brushing against each other with a dry whisper. She stops when she sees the house. It stands a short distance away from the road, set back behind a thin line of palms. Vines crawl over its walls, thick and dark, clinging like hands that refuse to let go. The roof sags in the middle. The windows are black, empty, watching. No light comes from inside. No sound. This is it. Earlier in the village, she had asked about a place to stay. The rain clouds were already rolling in then. An old man selling fruit had paused when she mentioned the road past the palms. He did not say no. He did not say yes. He only lowered his voice. "You can stay there," he said, eyes fixed on his hands. But only one night. A woman nearby had crossed herself and turned away. Another had smiled, tight and nervous, and told her to leave before dark. She remembers their faces now as she steps closer to the house. Just one night, she tells herself again. Shelter from the rain. Nothing more. The front door is wooden, swollen from years of moisture. It takes effort to push it open. The hinges cry out, loud and sharp in the quiet. The sound seems to echo longer than it should, as if the house is repeating it to itself. Inside, the air is cool and thick. It smells like damp wood, old dust, and something faintly sweet-burned incense, long gone. The floorboards are dark, uneven, worn smooth by many feet. Her footsteps sound too loud. She pauses, listening. Nothing answers. Light from the doorway stretches into the room, thin and pale. She closes the door behind her, and the sound settles into the walls. The air shifts. It feels sealed now, like the house has closed its mouth. She sets her bag down slowly. The room is simple. A wooden table. A few chairs. A narrow hallway leading deeper inside. On the walls hang framed photographs, their glass cloudy with age. She steps closer to one. A family stares back at her. A man, a woman, and a child. Their faces are soft around the edges, blurred by time and humidity. The child's eyes are the clearest. They seem almost sharp, like they were looking straight into the lens, while the others looked away. She moves to the next photo. Another family. Another child. All different, yet the same feeling lingers. Lives paused mid-breath. The light outside fades fast. The purple sky darkens to blue, then to black. The cicadas grow louder, then slowly, one by one, they stop. The silence that follows feels too big. She walks down the hallway. Her fingers brush the wall as she moves. The paint flakes under her touch, dry and soft. The hallway smells stronger of dampness. Somewhere deeper in the house, water drips. Slow, steady. She finds a small bedroom. A thin mattress rests on a wooden frame. A window looks out into the palms. The glass is streaked and dirty, but she can still see the trees moving in the wind. She sets her bag beside the bed. Thunder rolls in the distance. Rain begins without warning. Heavy drops strike the roof, fast and loud. The sound fills the house, bouncing from room to room. It should feel comforting. Instead, it makes everything else quieter. She sits on the edge of the bed and exhales. Her shoulders relax just a little. One night, she opens her bag and takes out a flashlight. The beam cuts through the dim room, catching dust in the air. She checks the corners. Nothing, just shadows. The rain grows stronger. Wind pushes against the walls. The house groans, with stretching and settling. A floorboard creaks. Somewhere behind her, she freezes. She listens. Another creak. Slow, careful, like a foot testing its weight. Hello. Her voice sounds thin, too small for the space. No answer. She stands and steps back into the hallway, the flashlight shaking slightly in her hand. The beam slides along the floor, the walls, the ceiling. Shadows shift and pull away. The creaking stops. She tells herself it's the house adjusting to the rain. Old buildings make noise. She knows this. Still, she waits a few seconds longer, heart tapping against her ribs. When nothing happens, she returns to the bedroom and closes the door. The handle clicks softly. The rain lasts for hours. Later, she lies on the mattress, staring at the ceiling. The room smells faintly of dust and something older. Something soaked deep into the wood. Sleep comes in short pieces. Each time she drifts. A sound pulls her back. A soft tap. A scrape, the drip of water. Now closer, then farther away. At some point, the rain slows. The house feels louder without it. Every small noise stands alone, sharp and clear. She hears the floorboard again, closer this time. Her eyes open. She does not move. She listens, counting her breaths. One creak, a pause, another creak. There are no footsteps between them, just the sound of wood bending, as if pressed by invisible weight. She turns her head toward the door. The flashlight lies beside her hand. She grips it but does not turn it on. The creaking stops right outside the room. Silence presses in, thick and heavy. It feels like something leaning close, listening to her breathe. Minutes pass, or seconds. Time feels loose here. Finally, the pressure lifts. The sound fades back into the house, slow and patient. She lets out a breath she didn't know she was. Holding Dot's sleep does not return. Near dawn, the sky lightens just a little. The house settles again, quieter now, almost calm. She sits up, exhausted, eyes burning. She knows something shared the space with her tonight. Not rushing, not loud, waiting, and somehow, deep down, she feels it has been waiting for a very long time. Rain crashes down before she can decide what to do next. It hits the roof hard, like handfuls of stones thrown from the sky. Water runs down the windows in thick lines, bending the world outside into dark shapes. The palms sway and blur. The road disappears behind a curtain of rain. She stands near the doorway, listening. Leaving now would mean walking through that storm, back past the village, back through eyes that warned her softly. She looks at the door, then at the room behind her. One night. She reminds herself, just one. She closes the door again. The sound feels final this time. The house settles around her. Rain fills every gap, every pause. It drums on the roof, pounds the walls, seeps into the bones of the place. The air grows cooler, damp, heavy. She walks back down the hallway. Slower now. Her steps sound dull, swallowed by the rain. The walls feel closer than before. She cannot explain it, only that the space seems tighter, as if the house has drawn a breath and is holding it. A sound slips through the rain, soft, almost lost. She stops. It comes again. A low murmur, uneven, like a voice heard through water. She presses her palm to the wall. The wood is cool, slightly wet. The sound does not come from one place. It moves, thin and broken, sliding through the walls. She listens harder. The murmur rises and falls, slow and gentle. It reminds her of a lullaby her mother once hummed when the power went out at home. The tune is not the same, but the feeling is. Quiet, close, sad. Her chest tightens. The sound fades, then returns, layered with another voice. This one is softer, almost a whisper. Words form, then fall apart. A prayer, maybe, spoken in a language she does not know, but somehow understands as asking Dot. She steps back from the wall. This isn't real, she says aloud, testing her voice. It sounds strange in the house, like it belongs to someone else. The lights flicker Dot once, twice, then everything goes dark. She gasps, heart jumping. The rain sounds louder without the low hum of electricity. The house feels larger and emptier, yet closer at the same time. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out her phone. The screen lights up her face. One bar of signal, then none. She tries again. Nothing. The phone shows the time. Just past midnight, she uses the light to move back into the main room. Shadows stretch and twist along the walls as she walks. The family photos catch the glow of the screen. Faces appear, then vanish again. A low sound fills the space. At first, she thinks it's the wind. Then she realizes it is slower, deeper. The house is breathing. The sound rises and falls, steady and calm, like someone asleep nearby. She stands, still, phone held tight, afraid that any movement will break something she cannot see. The breathing continues. She turns slowly, scanning the room. Nothing moves. No doors open. No shapes shift. Only the sound pressing against her ears. Her phone light flickers. She lowers it and forces herself to move. Standing still feels worse. She walks along the hallway again, this time noticing things she missed before. On the door frames, just below eye level, there are marks. She leans closer. Symbols are carved into the wood. Simple lines. Circles crossed by shortcuts. Shapes that repeat from frame to frame. The edges are smooth, worn down as if touched again. And again, over many years, she traces one with her finger. The wood is warm. She pulls her hand back fast. The whisper returns, closer now. It slides along the walls, not loud enough to hear clearly, but strong enough to feel. The words brush past her skin. She backs into the bedroom and closes the door. The handle clicks, sharp in the dark. She sits on the mattress, phone light aimed at the floor. Dust lies thick across the boards, untouched. Then she sees it. A small footprint appears near the door. It presses into the dust slowly, as if an invisible foot is stepping down. The shape is clear, too small to be hers. Her breath catches. The footprint lingers for a second. Then the dust shifts, smooth again, like it was never there. She stares at the spot until her eyes burn. No, she whispers. The word barely leaves her mouth. She pulls her knees to her chest and turns off the phone light. The dark wraps around her at once. She tells herself she needs to rest, even if sleep won't come. Sleep comes anyway, in pieces. She drifts, then wakes, drifts again. Each time, the feeling returns. A sense of being watched, not hunted, not threatened. Observed at one point, she opens her eyes and sees a faint glow under the door. Not light, more like a soft grey haze, thin as smoke. It fades when she sits up. The whispers return, gentler now, closer to her ear. She cannot hear the words, but she feels the weight behind them. Longing, last out tears slide down her face before she realizes she is crying. "I'm here," she says quietly, unsure why. "I hear you." The breathing sound deepens, then slows. When morning finally comes, it arrives without color. The rain has eased into a fine mist. Pale light creeps through the window, settling on the walls. She sits up, stiff and tired. Her head aches. Her eyes feel heavy. For a moment, she feels normal again, just a traveler who made a poor choice for. Sheltered, she stands and opens the bedroom. Door. The hallway looks the same. Quiet, empty, yet something has changed. The air feels less tight, less strained, like a room after an argument has ended, but the words still hang in the corners. She walks to the front door and places her hand on it. Outside, the road waits. The village, people, noise. She could leave now. Her hand stays where? It is behind her. The house creaks softly, not in warning, not in anger, in memory. She turns back, eyes moving to the carved symbols, the faded photos, the walls that whispered through the night. The fear is still there, but beneath it, she feels something else. A quiet grief, old, deep, woven into the wood. The house did not trap her here. It called, and she realizes she is not ready to walk away without listening. The back room sits at the far end of the house, past a narrow hallway that smells of damp wood and old dust. She has avoided it since morning. The door is thinner than the others, its paint cracked and peeling. Light slips through a gap near the floor. She stands there now, barefoot, the house quiet around her. Rain has stopped. The air feels washed and still. Her heart beats slow but heavy, like it knows something her mind does not. She pushes the door open. The room is small. A single window looks out toward the palms, but thick vines block most of the light. Against the far wall stands a tall mirror, its frame dark and carved with simple patterns. Dust coats the glass, dulling the reflection. She steps inside. The floor creaks under her weight. The sound echoes softly, then fades. The mirror catches her shape. She sees herself faintly hair loose, face tired, eyes shadowed from a night without sleep. She takes one more step. Her reflection does not. She stops in the mirror. Her image stands where it was, head tilted slightly, eyes fixed on her. A half second passes. Then the reflection moves, slow and careful, as if catching up. A cold feeling slides up her arms. "It's just old glass," she says quietly. Her voice sounds far away. She moves again, testing it. This time the reflection follows. But the delay remains. Small. She reaches up and touches her face. The reflection does the same, but its eyes linger on her hand. Watching instead of copying, she steps back from the mirror. The room feels tighter, warmer. The air presses. Against her skin, she turns away and scans the room. In the corner sits a low wooden table. On it rests an oil lamp, blackened at the top. Beside it lies a folded cloth, stiff with age. As she looks at them, a sharp image flashes in her mind. A woman sits at the same table, the lamp lit. The flame trembles as she cups it with her hands. Her face is thin, tired. She counts her breaths under her breath, slow and careful, as if afraid to make noise. The image fades. She grips the edge of the table to steady herself. Her fingers tremble. "That wasn't me," she whispers. Another image rises before she can stop it. A child crouches beneath the floorboards, knees pulled tight to their chest. Dust falls into wide eyes. The sound of footsteps passes overhead. The child does not cry. The child does not move. Her chest tightens. She bends forward, gasping. The room goes still again. The mirror waits. She forces herself to look back at it. Her reflection stands calm now. Too calm. The fear on her face does not match what she sees in the glass. Then something shifts. A second shape appears behind her reflection. She turns around fast. The room is empty. She looks back at the mirror. A woman stands there, not beside her, not behind her. Inside the glass, the woman's face is clear, unlike the faded photos in the house. Her hair is pulled back. Her eyes are dark and steady. She wears a simple dress, old-fashioned, its fabric worn thin. Her hands rest at her sides. She does not look angry. She looks tired and somehow relieved. They stare at each other. The woman does not move her lips, but a feeling presses into the room, heavy and slow. Not fear, not danger. Memory to tears blur her vision. She does not wipe them. "Away, I see you," she says. Her voice shakes, but she does not look away. The woman's expression softens. The image flickers, then fades. The mirror shows only her again, breathing hard, eyes wet. She leaves the room and closes the door behind her. The hallway feels different. Now, not safer. Just honest. Later that afternoon, she sits near the front window as the sky darkens again. The village lies quiet in the distance. Smoke rises from a few homes. She remembers the way people looked at her when she asked about this. Place. She thinks of the fruit seller, of the woman who crossed herself. She walks back into the hallway and studies the photographs again. She looks closer this time. Really looks dot. In one photo, she notices something she missed before. A mark carved into the door frame behind the family. The same symbol she touched last night. In another photo, the same mark appears again. And again. A pattern. She understands then. slowly, carefully. This house was not abandoned by accident. She steps outside as evening falls and walks toward the edge of the village. People watch her from doorways. No one speaks at first. An older woman finally steps forward. Her hair is grey and tied low. Her eyes are sharp, tired. "You stayed the night," the woman says. "Yes," the woman nods once. "Then you heard them." "I saw her," she replies. "In the mirror." The woman closes her eyes. Her shoulders sag. "They said she used charms," the woman murmurs. "Said her child was wrong. Sick in the head. Bad luck followed that family." "Did it?" she asks. No one answers. "They locked themselves in," the woman continues. "People stopped bringing food, stopped speaking their names. Silence does more harm than fire." The words settle heavy between them. She returns to the house before night fully falls. The mirror room door stands closed. She does not open it again. That night, the woman appears in reflections only. In the dark window, in the glass of a picture frame, always calm, always waiting. Fear loosens its grip on her heart. Something else takes its place. Sorrow, the whispers return, clearer now. Not begging, not warning. Remember, she sits on the floor and listens. She does not sleep. By morning, she knows she cannot leave yet, not without speaking what was buried. The house holds its breath, and so does she. Morning arrives without sound. She wakes on the floor near the front room, her back stiff, her clothes still damp from the night air. Pale light slips through the windows, thin and unsure. The house feels emptied out, like something heavy has stepped aside. The rain has stopped. Outside, the ground is dark and wet. Leaves drip slowly. The palms stand still, their long shadows stretched across the road. Birds return in small bursts of sound, careful at first, then louder. She washes her face at a rusted basin near the back of the house. The water is cold. It clears the fog in her head, but not the weight in her chest. When she looks at her reflection in the cracked mirror above the basin, she half expects to see the woman again. Only herself looks back. She dries her face and steps outside. The house does not creak when the door closes. It feels quiet in a different way now. Not empty, waiting. The walk to the village is short. The road is soft with mud, her shoes sinking slightly with each step. People are already awake. Smoke rises from cooking fires. A few heads turn as she passes, eyes following her, then looking. Away, no one smiles. She stops near a small open space where several elders sit on low stools. They drink tea from chipped cups. Their faces are lined and still, shaped by years of heat and holding back words. She stands before them, unsure how to begin. "I stayed in the house," she says at last. Don't no one looks surprised. An old man nods. Slowly. "Then you saw her?" "Yes." A woman beside him exhales through her nose, as if releasing something she has carried too long. She gestures for her to sit. The stool beneath her is rough and warm from the sun. She was not always alone, the woman says. She had a child, a quiet one. Another elder speaks, his voice dry. People said strange things followed her. Crops failed. Animals fell. Sick. Fear spreads faster than truth. They called it witchcraft, someone else adds. It is an easy word. The air feels heavy. No one meets her eyes. They stopped bringing food, the woman continues. Stopped greeting her. The child stopped being seen. She swallows. What happened to them? Silence stretches. A long, painful pause. They died, the old man says finally. Inside that house. No one explains how. No one needs to. No. Burial rites, the woman says. No prayers. We thought forgetting would make it go away. Her hands shake as she lifts her cup. Tea spills onto the dirt. Silence was easier. She whispers. The words settle into her chest like stones. She looks at their faces. Not cruel, not cold. Just tired, ashamed. She's still there, she says quietly. She remembers. The elders nod again. This time, slower. We know, the man replies. We hear her in our sleep. She stands to leave. No one stops her. No one thanks her. They watch as she walks back toward the palms. Her shadow long in the late afternoon light. The house appears again through the trees, dark against the sky. For the first time, it does not feel like it is watching her. It feels exposed. She enters. Just as the sun begins to sink, the light inside the house is soft, almost gentle. Dust floats in the air, glowing gold. She pauses. A candle sits on the table. She did not leave it there. Before she can speak, the wick flares. A small flame steadies. Itself calm and bright. Another candle lights near the hallway. Then another, no sound. No wind her breath catches. But fear does not follow. The house feels thinner now. Fragile. Like an old body finally allowed to rest. She walks slowly through the rooms. The whispers return, but they have changed. They no longer slip past her ears. They form words. Thank you. The sound is soft. Close. Human tears come again, hot and sudden. She does not wipe them away. I know, she says. I'm listening. She stands in the mirror room as dusk deepens. The mirror reflects candlelight and shadow. The woman appears once more, faint but clear enough. Her eyes meet hers. This time, the woman bows her head. The child does not appear. I won't forget, she says. I won't let them forget. The woman's face softens. The image fades, not in fear. Outside, night settles fully. The house creaks once, like a sigh. She lights incense she found in a drawer, old but still fragrant. Smoke curls. Upward, slow and steady. She places it near the doorway, then near the back room, then near the photographs. She speaks their names, as the elders told her. Each name feels heavy on her tongue. Real, the house listens. The whispers soften. Some fade. Others linger. Like echoes in a large room. She understands now. The house never wanted escape. It wanted witness. She sits on the floor as darkness fills the corners. The candles burn low. Shadows stretch and pull, then settle. The air feels honest, clear. When the last candle flickers out, the darkness does not press in. It simply exists. For the first time since she arrived, she is not afraid of it. She closes her eyes. Tomorrow she will leave. She knows this. The house does not ask her to. Stay. But tonight, she stays with it, listening, remembering, refusing silence. The sky is still dark when she rises. The house holds a deep, steady quiet, the kind that comes after a long night of speaking. The candles burned down hours ago, leaving thin trails of wax on the table. The air smells faintly of incense and damp. Wood. Somewhere outside, an insect clicks once, then stops. She stands slowly, her joints stiff, her body tired but calm. The fear that once sat heavy in her chest has thinned. Something else has taken its place. Purpose. Care Dutch moves through the house barefoot, her steps soft on the floorboards. They creak gently, no longer sharp or sudden. The sound feels like the house clearing its throat. In the front room, she sets the incense sticks in a small bowl of sand. Her hands shake as she lights them, but the flame steadies. Smoke rises in thin, pale lines and spreads through the room. She speaks the names, the woman's name first, then the child's. Each name is spoken slowly, carefully, as if it might break if rushed. Her voice fills the space and settles into the walls. She repeats them again, louder this time, letting them carry. "I'm sorry," she says. The words come easy now. You were left alone. You were silenced. The house listens. The smoke drifts down the hallway, curling around door frames, touching the carved symbols. She follows it into the back room where the mirror waits. The glass reflects the dim room and her tired face. For a moment, there is nothing else. Then the woman appears. She stands in the mirror as she always has, calm and still. Her eyes hold no fear, no anger, only relief, quiet and deep. The woman's lips curve into a small smile. It is the first time she has seen her smile. Her throat tightens. Tears rise again, but she does not look away. "You're not forgotten," she says. "Not anymore." The woman inclines her head. The child does not appear, but the space beside her feels warm, full. Slowly, the image fades, not pulled away, not erased. It fades like mist under morning light. The mirror shows only the empty room. Again, she lets out a breath she did not know she was holding. As she steps back into the hallway, the house shifts. A long, low sound moves through the walls, like a breath released after years of being held. The shadows soften. Corners that once felt crowded now feel open. The house exhales. Outside, the first signs of morning begin. A pale grey line forms along the edge of the sky. Birds stir in the trees, their calls hesitant at first, then growing bolder. She packs her bag quietly. Nothing in the house resists her now. The door opens without effort. The air inside feels light, almost fragile, as if too much noise might break it. She pauses at the threshold. The house stands still behind her. Vines cling to its walls, but they no longer feel like hands pulling something down. They feel like scars. Old, honest. "Goodbye," she says. Not sure if the word fits. The house does not answer, but it does not need to. She steps onto the road. Before the sun fully rises, the ground is cool beneath her feet. Mist hangs low over the palms. Dew clings to the leaves, catching the early light. Bird song fills the air now, bright and clear as she walks toward the village. She feels lighter. Not happy. Not free. Just clear. The village looks the same as it did before. Fires are lit. Pots clatter. A dog barks once, then settles. People glance at her as she passes, then look away. Their faces hold no sign of change. She does not stop. This time, some things do not change all at once. The road warms slowly under the rising sun. She reaches the edge of the village and does not turn back again. By the time the sun clears the trees, she is already gone. The house remains. It stands quiet behind the palms, empty at last. No whispers slip through its walls. No breath moves. Through its rooms, dust settles. Light fills the spaces where shadows once clung. It is just a house now, but the truth does not stay there. It lingers in the village, in small ways. In the way elders speak a name they once avoided. In the way a child is pulled closer instead of pushed away. In the way silence feels heavier than words. Some places are not haunted by spirits. They are haunted by forgetting. She stayed one night, but the memory stays longer, and somewhere between fear and compassion, she learns something simple and hard. Listening is an act of courage, and remembering is the only way. Some souls can finally rest